way because they're 5-2 with their starting quarterback. Then he left, had to go out. They were 0-3. He comes back. They win a few games, and now they're thinking the same thing. Way they're thinking on the road, away victory against an opponent we're going to see next year for the first game. So let's get this win down, and they're coming to our place next year, so that could help us start off the season 1-0. So it's really a dynamic of two football teams in the same kind of category, so to speak, in a lot of areas, but you know, a little bit different in a lot of areas.
It is funny. The coaching staffs for both VMI and Bucknell are going to be looking at this game film. This may be the most scrutinized game film in the country next summer between two staffs.
So you think starting Tuesday is going to be looked at like every day over the summer? What do you think, Wade?
Well, we'll see what happens here today. Of course, it's senior day as well. And the Keydets saying so long to 17 seniors. And this was really the first group as a whole that was brought in with Sparky Woods' his first full recruiting year. And we'll be talking to them about these. They're lining up right now. They're going to go through the gauntlet and be introduced. Their parents here as well. And let's just go ahead and talk about them right now. Cal Murray, starting with A.J. Augustine, goes without saying. A.J. making his fifth career start today was the backup, the model backup quarterback who suddenly, after an unfortunate hit to Eric Kortenbach, A.J. became the starter, and he has performed very well.
You know, it's one of those things where he's got 905 yards on the season, 8 touchdowns, and the guy has just been the consummate. You know, you hear stories about the consummate backup, and who comes to mind? Don Strock, right, from Virginia Tech and the Miami Dolphins, you know, kind of scheme of things, where he would just come in and do his job and then go back and sit down when he had to, right? And this is the kind of guy A.J. Augustine's done. He has been the guy who has sat back. He's pushed Eric to make him better, but then when it counted to come out and play football, A.J. has come out and he's just shown us some of the you know, most brilliant football when it's all said and done at times as a quarterback, and you just got to give him a big hug and say thank you, A.J., for your persistence, for your hanging in there. You knew you were up against Tucker. He's the first guy announced today when it's all said and done, and I just love the guy to death.
As we work our way down the list, now taking the field, Bronson Koch out of Gretna, Virginia. His parents are here today. David Everhart now being introduced, and he leads the Big South Conference in punting, and I know you work with David on a weekly basis as you also coach on a volunteer basis all the kickers and punters, Cal. And David, I tell you, he has been, to me, one of the big surprises of this season, and he has performed very well.
Oh, he's just been awesome, and he's just been one of those kids that hung in there, did his time, so to speak. He backed up, you know, Mark Ray when he showed up, and then Cameron last year, or 2 years ago in the show, you know, did his job last year, and right now he's got an excellent shot to be the conference punter of the year if everything works out today. And, you know, once again, just a kid you love to death, and he just wants to make things happen, and great parents, and really excited for him here on Senior Day.
Ty Garvin now being introduced, a starter, inside linebacker for the last 2 years. Pat Golden on the offensive line from Laurel, Maryland, returned for his fifth year and has started just about every game on the offensive line. Chris Harper, who has battled injuries off and on throughout his career, including 2 separate injuries this year, coming back to play last week. And Chris from Richmond, Virginia, really a big-time outside linebacker, big play performer, and that he can come up with that sack when you really need it.
All he needs is 2 today, Wayne, and I think he gets the single-season record for 7 in a season to be the sack leader. But you really look at the guys like Ty Garvin, Pat Golden, Chris Harper, and, of course, William Hyman, who you're about to talk about. And those are 4 kids that have been on this defensive unit, and they have just, you know, think about Pat Gould, who changed from defense to offense when it's all said and done to make the offense better. Can you imagine our defensive tackle at 6'4", 290? You know, you kind of think, what if, you know, sometimes as VMI alumni, but I tell you what, these 4 kids have just given their heart, they've given their all, and, you know, to your point, injuries. Pat Gould coming back to school, and